Hey, everybody. Happy MLK 2019. This is Dr. LaDre Weathersby, your Better Life Coach, here with you on January the 21st. It is MLK Day here in the United States, where people all across this country and even all across this world uh, recognize the contributions of my Morehouse brother, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So listen, I want to invite you on really quickly because I won't be long with this video, but I do have a question to ask, and it's kind of a tribute to Dr. King. His legacy has been enduring for 60 years now, 55, over 50 years, almost 60 years. And in the spirit of that, I just want to ask you a question. Where's the manual? I've been living my life on my own for quite a while. And the crazy part about it is, every time I would get a new video game or every time I get a new toy, there was something in me that would say, I got it, I got it. And I would always grab the manual. I don't need the manual. I've been doing this a long time all by myself. You know the stuff that we say because we finally did something right and we think we can get it together. So what happened is I made sure that I would assemble the TV or assemble whatever the product was, and I never really consulted the manual. But here's my question for you. Where is the manual? One of the things I found out is that there is never a manual. There was never the manual that fixes everything, that can give you every single idea, that could tell you about every single problem that might jump up, to tell you about every single stumbling block that may come in the way. So no, there was never the manual. However, even though there is not a specific manual that covers everything, there are so many unused manuals all around, and they exist everywhere. How do I know? Because we've got other people that we can look at who've gone before us, who can share with us some ideas and some tips and stop us from making some crazy mistakes. Listen, I'm almost 40. And now I'm tired of making crazy mistakes. Sometimes I find that the mistakes that I make, it's because I went on my own and I did not consult a manual. If you're like me, you bought some things before. Maybe you bought a television and you lost the manual, but you could find another manual to give you some ideas. That's what I do. When the TV goes crazy, when the game goes crazy, when the phone goes crazy, I jump online. And even though it's not the manual for that device, it is a manual to help me figure out what's going on so I can fix it. And so that's my question for you. Where is the manual? There is no manual for relationships that I found that'll tell me every single solitary thing that could go wrong in a platonic or romantic relationship. However, there are many manuals available. Again, I mentioned you have other people's experiences. You have people that will tell you, hey, one of the best ways to lose a best friend is to not tell them the truth. One of the best ways to lose a spouse is to not tell the truth. And they'll tell you things, you can learn things, because again, there are manuals that exist. It's just that a lot of times we're not using those manuals that exist. Not only do we have other people's good and bad experiences to give us some idea, to give us some guidelines, to give us some insight into what does and does not work. You've also had people who have put their experiences into books and seminars and audio recordings, and writings and all kinds of things. These are the people who put their soul into what's going on, and I think we do them a disservice by not taking advantage of what they've provided, because it is a manual. Again, it will never give you every single solitary detail. One of the acronyms for the Bible is basic instructions before leaving earth. And I don't care if you've read the Bible from cover to cover, even the Bible itself, the Quran itself, they cannot give you every single solitary detail. But listen, using a manual is better than using no manual at all. So not only do you have other people's experiences that you can talk to and you can ask them questions, you've got people's experiences that have been put on paper and pen and writing, great. But you also have mentors. Sometimes when I'm coaching and when I'm consulting with people and questions are asked, things come up that I forgot about, because even in my journal, I don't write everything down. I just don't. And that's the reason why you've got to have good mentors in your life. You've got to have good associates in your life that can help to be a manual to what's going on in your world. Now, here's something funny to me. People say things like, well, if I'm married, I can't listen to people who are single. Well, maybe the reason I'm single is because I chose not to get married. Maybe the reason I'm single is because I saw something and I didn't want to go through with it, because my manual told me that that was a red flag and it was going to cause great harm and danger later on. But people don't think that way. What we're looking for, the manual that is the perfect, and you just probably won't find the manual by itself. However, if you look at the experiences and sources like blood, if you look back at Dr. King's life, you will understand that he was never really done on the level that he ended up doing it. And even though he did not have the manual that told him step by step what same way that he has become a manual. But not only a manual, Dr. King has become a template for cultures all across the world in making sure that the world they live in is a better place. My question to you is, yes, I know there is not the manual to fix everything that's going on in your world. I know there's not the manual to tell you every little single thing to do along the way to prevent every single solitary discomfort, hurt, and issue. But will you become a manual for somebody else? Will you and give them a taste of your same exact thing you experienced? You know, I'm a school teacher by trade, and I went back to education. One of my business was income. So when I went back, one of the things that I always do with my students, and those students repeat the mistake of losing certain physical trinkets. You know, I want to experience some of the loss that I've experienced. Doesn't mean that from going through everything. No. And some people business parts, but I think from afar, what they imagine. And so they help me learn, hey, it is what it is. I give you a quick example in my life. I have a son. My forced to be married. So I have two sets of bonus parents, you know. But then I find myself if I'm going to be a bonus parent, a son or daughter, my own experience, but also get somebody else's experience as a way to create that relationship. It's not just my experience, and I think we're getting in trouble because we're only relying on our own experience. We're not true enough. We don't know it all, and we're ashamed to go get a manual. But my hope and my prayer is that just like Dr. King became a manual for so many others, that you will use others as your manual and become a manual for other people as well.